Hey everybody, I'm here with Sal and Tiffany from ComicPOP. They're another YouTube channel on here in the YouTube community. Do you mind telling some of my viewers what it is you do on your channel?
Sure. We talk about comic books 5 days a week, and we delve into the nitty-gritty of comics from years past and, of course, from days past as well.
So, as from one content creator to another, I know how hard it is to sometimes find time for yourself or for your families, especially when you put a lot of work into your channel. How, with all the shows you do, from the podcast to the different things you have scheduled during the week, how are you able to find a balance between that and spending time with your loved ones, friends, family?
It's an excellent question. You want to take it first?
Well, I know we kind of have different experiences.
Yes.
Because you do that full-time. I have a full-time 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Like, I work, and I'm lucky enough that I get to hang out with my friends and family, essentially, by doing the channel itself. So, like, when we're actually working, it's less work and more just kind of having a good time. For the reading element, that's the hardest part, is like trying to get, especially for the poll, trying to get those like weekly books in like the day before. That's always the hardest thing, but you find time. You find time at work, downtime, don't tell anybody.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, the fact is, the balance is always the hardest thing to maintain. And when you first start, it is impossible to, show preference one way or the other. I think you kind of tilt full on work, trying to focus all on the channel. But now, after a couple of years, I guess it really, you figure out the rhythm. And I don't even know if we did anything specific, but I think it was little changes, subtle changes over time, just a little tweaking where I'm like, I can do this, I don't have to do that anymore. Just prioritizing is really the biggest step.
And keeping the mindset that, like, here's the thing, like, everybody thinks like, oh my God, like reading comic books for work, like that's gonna be awesome. It's never gonna feel like work. Eventually it feels like work, and that's when you have to find a different balance. Like, that's where you have to realize, okay, whoa, the moment this feels like the work is the moment I realize I can't keep doing that. I have to find another way, because the point is, we love this. And like, I never want it to be sullied by doing the channel or doing shows or anything like that. So it really just comes down to being like, okay, like if I'm feeling too much pressure that I got to get X, Y, Z done, like maybe I read a few like less books, and let my co-hosts know that, and then they try to pick up the slack, essentially.
Yeah. No, not being afraid to delegate really is the biggest step. That's the biggest way to kind of maintain that balance.
Yeah, and I can totally relate to that as well. I'm by myself. I don't really have a staff, so when it comes to comic book related things, when you start, like you said, reading, it becomes like work, and you have to really dedicate that time to it, plus editing and everything. It can be a handful, but like you said, prioritizing and everything. So that's a really, really good answer. Now, since you've been doing this for a couple of years now, how does it feel? Going to different cons, Garden State Comic Fest, New York Comic Con, local cons, to be interacting with fans. How has that really changed your life?
It might be one of the most singular, unexpected feelings of my life, and it's easily one of the few most rewarding experiences. Going to cons and running into people who are members of the audience is one of the single pleasures I take out of cons now. It used to be like just going to cons and immersing myself in the culture, but now being part of it is kind of overwhelming and humbling. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, honestly, like any fan interaction, like whether it be on social media, like that's amazing. Seeing them in person every single time, it has been the most exciting thing to happen. Like every time, it's never a thing that I'm ever going to get used to or dreading or anything like that. Like it's mind-blowing every single time, and it's just really cool to have an actual interaction, because I think we forget nowadays, especially being in like the digital media like scape, essentially, that there's a difference between like talking to someone on the internet, which is awesome and great, and I'm so glad we have that forum to talk to the community, but to actually have an actual interaction where it's like, hi, you're right here,
you're a person,
and I get to see you, and like actually like shake your hand or give you a hug or whatever, and like that is just so awesome and amazing, and it always puts a smile on my face.
Always know that those numbers aren't just numbers. There's actual people behind them.
And like they have loves and interests, and they're really cool and fun and interesting people, and like to have a chance to even chat with them for like a few minutes to a half an hour, which happened in Emerald City.
Yes.
And I've never forgotten that, and I love it.
That's awesome. Now, any specific things that you're looking forward to, coming here today with Garden State Comic Fest?
Definitely. I brought my oversized hardcover Alien by Walt Simonson that I would like to have him sign. I didn't bring it a couple of years prior when he was here, and I thought, I probably don't need him to do that. and I've regretted it ever since. Now I have an opportunity to fix that, and so there's that. Hopefully running into members of the population, which is what the name of our audience, and also to just bump into creators and other like fans, because that's what we're here for mostly. We're just here to be fans and enjoy comics. So I'm looking forward to we're also going to be getting maybe some set pieces for our new studio space. So.
That's right. And I got to tell you, I love the artists because, you know, around this area, we got the Joe Cooper School, like right up the road. So like being able to see like the new talent that's coming out of there, I love that. It's awesome because like here they are like putting themselves out there like in a very personal way where it's like, this is what I did and this is what I created and hopefully you enjoy it. I love it. That's like one of my favorite parts.
So, any upcoming projects that we can see on Comic Pop that, you know, you don't have to really go into detail. I know if you want to, you know, keep it as a surprise, but anything that we should be looking forward to seeing in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I just dropped, we did just get new studio space, and we are going to explore it to its fullest potential. We've got sets now and different sections of locations for shows, and because of that kind of new experience, we're going to be exploring that space to create new shows to accommodate it. Can we talk about other stuff? Do we have any other ideas coming up that are coming through the pipeline that we want to talk about?
It's up to you.
Yeah, we can mention a couple things.
Go ahead.
Well, I was doing that so that you would tell it because I don't remember.
Oh.
I was trying to remember. I'm like, do we have any new shows?
There are a couple of things that we are going to potentially be exploring, whether that be essentially like smaller, quicker shows,
Yes.
A couple of things that maybe focus a little more on independent comics. We used to do that back in the day, and I miss it. I miss doing that, so it's going to be kind of a rebirth of like the Hack and Splash show, but like we'll call it something different. Hey, birds! But I'm excited to have the space and opportunity to do that because when it comes down to it, like the space we had before, it was very small, and there was only so much we could do in so much time. But like now we can actually go ahead and do like more things almost simultaneously.
Yeah.
So and it's totally different looking. So really, it comes down to like it's going to be the spaces that are exciting, and we are honestly going to be trying out new things because it's like we got this awesome space. Hopefully, we'll get a little more Ben and Ethan doing some things, but we'll see. Their schedules are crazy, but.
The thing about it is, while we don't necessarily have any like brand new shows coming out of the pipeline, we have this new space which allows us to kind of explore it and consider what's going to happen next. Like I don't necessarily even want to have a plan just yet. I want to be like, let's see what this space allows.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So that's where we are.
Yeah.
One last final question. Now, this is a question I receive a lot from some of my viewers. Any advice that you can give to someone who's interested in starting a YouTube channel, especially about comic book related stuff?
Always be honest. Always be forthcoming about what your opinion is, and don't do it just because you think it's going to get you views. Like, do it because you care about that thing, whatever it is, because while there are, you think the comic's kind of niche, once you delve into it, it is a multiverse of different opinions, ideas, and concepts. And there's room for everybody in here, so we can definitely allow you to just kind of like, you focus on what you want to focus on, what you think is important, and prioritize about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, once you start from someplace honest, the really good ideas will come out of it. And as you do more of it, you'll refine it, and it'll get better, When you first make your video, don't be discouraged by how crappy it is. And I don't mean like because like I'm so great, I just mean like because it will be. My first videos, very crappy. Not just crappy, very crappy. So really, don't let that discourage you.
No.
And just power through it.
Yeah. Essentially, you're creating art, and there's always room for growth in art, and you can't grow without making those mistakes. But you have to do it. You have to be willing to take that chance and to put yourself out there and learn from it. And the fact is, like, when you're starting out, don't overextend yourself. Like, pick one or two things you want to focus on and build that into something you're really super proud of. Keep a schedule. And keep a schedule that you know you can follow. Like, don't be like, all right, I'm going to do 7 videos a week because I've got the time for that. You may not have the time for that.
I would stick with like 1 a week.
Yeah. Like, start out like that. And it's okay because that leaves you places to grow. It's better to grow than to be like, okay, I got to step back. But here's the thing. If you end up having to scale back, it's okay too. You just have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, and your audience.
All right, guys, so that wraps up this little interview with Comic Pop. It's been a pleasure to talk to them. Can you please let them know where they can find you? Any links, websites, Facebook, Instagram?
Absolutely. Well, you can come check us out at comicpop.net or youtube.com/comicpop. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Sal Says What.
I'm at The Real Zoobs.
See you later.
Thank you.
So used to ending my